Icky Licky's Humbug Havoc. Christmas time was a fan favorite to most people of all ages in town. It was a time the snow lay all over the ground. Everybody liked doing all sorts of things in the snow, such as sledding, skating, making snow angels, and even building snow figures. Everyone enjoyed that time of year. That is, everyone except Icky Licky. He didn't like the snow one bit. One morning, he encountered some passengers waiting to catch a train. He spoke rudely to them. "You like to play in the snow, huh? Well, one day you'll have to stop getting used to it." No thank you," said the passengers politely. "We've got a train to catch." "You're choosing to ride trains during the winter?" Icky Licky replied. "Pathetic. You're not the trip for a steam locomotive. Now get lost." The passengers were quite offended. Then Thomas arrived at the station platform. "I'm sorry about this," he apologized. "That toxic frog is being extra grumpy today because of the snow. Please hop into my coaches and I'll remove you from this madness." And once the passengers boarded, Thomas puffed away. The big engines who were waiting for passengers to board their coaches were horrified at Icky Licky's behavior. "Why does he treat people like that during this time of year?" asked Henry. "Who cares, Henry?" replied Gordon. "We tried to shield them from the worst of mouths like that, but you can't win 'em all." Just then, the station master walked up to the platform. He was extremely upset for a reason. "You either start talking nicely to others or get lost," he ordered. "You're making it look like a horrible time of year." Icky Licky grunted. "You're already there, humbug." The station master was not amused, and the engines were relieved when Icky Licky finally walked away. "That's right," demanded Henry. "Go humbug somebody else." And that's what Icky Licky did. He saw a small, unoccupied cabin and hung out inside by the fireplace for the rest of the day to let things cool down. But the next morning he was back in full swing, this time with more engines as his targets. Duck and Oliver were in the shunting yards for an early job to do when Toby the tram engine arrived. "Well, look who's arrived," he announced. "It's a black and yellow frog wearing a red necklace with a toxic sign on it. And I bet he's feeling a bit tired because of all the snow lying on the ground." Duck and Oliver looked at each other and groaned. "Heh heh," Icky Licky chuckled. "Did you miss me?" "Go build yourself a snowman," countered Duck. "Or how about you go to the nearest cafe and buy yourself a cup of coffee," added Oliver, "and take it with cream and sugar." "Yeah, we don't even want you here right now," said Duck. "Make me, Montague," Icky Licky demanded. "And I'm going to be here as long as I want. And by the time I'm done here, all of your Christmas spirit will be mine." Just then, James the Red Engine puffed up and arrived at the scene. "Well, look at this," he said. "It's a black and yellow frog, and he's—" "Out of my way, you big red monster with that wooden brown tram engine," Icky interrupted. "You're a disgrace to your kind. If you're still going to make it on the Santa's nice list this year, like you always have, at least think of him giving you lots of coal this year instead of all the presents he gives you on Christmas Eve." Toby stared in horror. "My friends and I are here to take away all of your Christmas spirit," Icky Licky continued. "Every little bit of it. And if you try to stop one of us, we'll smash you right into that pile of firewood, where you'll be burned to ashes." James and Toby were scared stiff. Never had they ever encountered someone acting so naughty. "Right then," said Oliver eventually, "I'll go pull my trucks. And Mr. Toxic Frog, you try and take over the railway, or whatever it is you mentioned." And with that, everybody quickly went back to work. "They don't think I'm much of a threat," Icky thought. "Oh, they'll regret that. They'll regret that for sure." At noontime, Icky Licky arrived at the sheds and was already looking for trouble. He saw Edward's shed door closed because he was being fitted with his blue snowplow. Icky Licky decided to play a trick on him. He quietly went up to the turntable crank and turned it so that the turntable didn't point towards Edward's shed. Then he quickly ran off just as Edward's shed door opened. Edward puffed out of his shed wearing his blue snowplow and didn't see that the turntable had been moved until it was too late. He promptly tumbled and fell into the turntable well, leaving him off the rails. "How did I end up like this?" asked Edward as he found himself inside of the turntable well. "Oh, bother," said Toby when he arrived. "Someone must have moved the turntable. And now you, Edward, have gotten me stuck here." "It wasn't the turntable operator," replied Edward. "And I swear he wasn't here while I was having my snowplow fitted. I'm not going crazy, am I?" "I think you're losing it," said Icky Licky, who had been watching. "I recommend they take you apart to figure out what's wrong and just leave you here." "You had something to do with this," Edward insisted. "I know you did." And with that, Icky Licky set off to find another engine to play a trick on.